Good morning, everyone. I hope you're enjoying this gorgeous day out there today. So today I thought I'd show you how to make a little shutter card. So, I've decorated with the Mandala stamps and used the Mandala die cuts. But you could, use whatever you want. So use this as a template, and then I'd love to see your designs that you come up with. So please post them under this video because I'd really love to see what you come up with. Okay, so it just sort of opens, so it's a gatefold card, and then it opens with the little shutter with the little message inside. So you can see just overlaps. Some you could put a belly band around it, but I like it all attached, and I think it's nice just the one card. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make this little card, and I've got a few little twists on it as well, so I'll have a little experiment with that and see how they go. So for this colour, for this card, I've used the archival inks to do the stamping with. So I've used Orange Blossom and Monarch Orange along with the Jet Black. And what was I going to say? I don't know what else I was going to say. Oh, I've used a spiced marmalade for the blending around the edges, and the aged mahogany just to give it, just to bring out the edge of the mandala a little bit more. I don't know if you can even probably see it on the camera, okay? But that's what I've used. But I'm going to do a different colour version, and I'm going to use the cricket card, and I'm going to use the leaf green archival and the paradise teal archival for this next card. Because I always love to I love to see how cards look differently using different colour card schemes. So the first thing I'm going to do is just stamp the white pieces, so just stamping the mandala. So these are just the two little strips down here, and this little inside piece here. Okay, so what I'll do is I've forgotten to write up the measurement instructions, so normally I have it posted here. I'll include them later on this afternoon on the top of this video so that you'll have them there if you would like to make up this card. Okay, so we're just using the mandala stamps, and I'm using the blue for that one and the green for this one. And then a little mandala flower there. So just stamping these randomly on the card. Together. And remembering when you're stamping these sort of things, always, if you're stamping random patterns, just make sure that you stamp off the edge of the page too. Don't always be stamping in the center of the page because you want it to look a bit random. And you want to get that flow. And I find if you stamp off the page, I lost my track of thought there for a second. If you stamp off the page, it then makes it look as if it's flowing out, continuing on. And if you're doing a collaging sort of thing, always try and overlap your stamps a little bit as well. And that just makes it, again, continuous. And leaving a bit of white as well, because we're going to add the little black flower too. We just need a little bit more blue on the other side, don't we? So I'm just going to chuck another one up there. Okay. Now we definitely need to make, because we've got this white space down here that doesn't quite look right. So we'll make sure we put a black flower down there. So it's all experimenting and what looks pleasing to your eye. So just because something looks pleasing to my eye doesn't naturally mean it's going to look pleasing to your eye. So, you know, if what I say you sort of think, oh God, I don't like that idea, then don't do it. I'm just here for a bit of inspiration for you. Okay? No, definitely no hard and fast rules with me. Okay, I think that looks all right. I've left that kind of centerpiece because that's probably where I'm going to do the hole, die cut the circle. So I've just left that kind of like that because I might be able to get my sentiment in that piece there. So you don't have to, because you can always turn the card over and stamp on the other side of the circle that we're going to stamp that inner sentiment on. I think they look all right. So again, just playing around with them until you're happy with the way they look. Now I'm going to use the Paradise Teal just to blend around the edges with these, and so then they'll be all ready to go onto the card. Okie dokies, that's done. Just pop that into the side. So now we can load those onto the little black pieces so that they're ready. Now this one we're going to die cut the circle out of. So I'm going to put 3 strips down, like 1 strip down the center as well as all 4 sides, just so that it will adhere once that circle's cut out. You can see I've used the back of my Kaszazz vouchers. So, you know, if you get sent a Kaszazz voucher, use it because it's our good quality white cardstock. Now, also, just a little reminder about the Christmas Kaszazz vouchers that are on offer at the moment. If you buy $50 worth of product from the selected list, then you will receive a $50 voucher to spend on whatever you like. And that voucher expires the end of January. So in order to get the voucher, that offer expires the end of this month. So the end of October. So the 30, I think we've got 31 days in October. Yes, so the 31st of October. So if you'd like to take advantage of that great promotion, just let me know. So I've just popped those all on there. Pop this on here. There's also a offer on the mini Gemini at the moment as well, so with lots of bundles. And I've just put a little video up the other day of the different bundles that are involved to show you exactly what's involved, what's in each bundle. Okay, so we just got our little black border on those pieces there. So we're just going to put those aside. Now we're just going to do our scoring to create our gate fold card. So I'm just using a normal A5 card, so 21 centimetres by 14.8. So we're just going to, now I tend to score on the textured side. So if you're using textured card, score on the textured side. That just breaks the fibre. So we're going to score at 5.2. But it's, if you take exact measurements, it's actually 5.25, which is like just infinitesimal. So what I do is I mark on it with a pencil on my little scorer here. So that's 5, 5.1, 5.2, and then it's kind of in between the 5.2 and 5.3. But look, that smallish amount isn't going to make a huge difference. So what I do to score is I just pop it on my trimmer and then just scoring down. So of course, if you've got a scoreboard, you can use your scoreboard, but I just like to use my trimmer. I find that works really well. These trimmers have been discontinued by Kaszazz, but you might find some still around. If you don't have one of those, then of course you just use your craft mat. So just using your craft mat, and you can do the same thing. So just using your ruler. So for example, say this is my metal ruler because I forgot to pull one out. You would just line this up on this edge, yes, on this edge by 4.2. So you just mark it there, 5.2, and then put with your ruler along there, and then just use your bone scorer to run along, okay? But I find the trimmer very handy. Now, I always make a mess when I go to measure the second side, no matter how precise I try to be, it never kind of meets up. So what I find the best way is if you do one side and make sure that's flush so that, you know, this is folding quite nicely and meeting up. Then what I do is I just bring the other side up to meet it. So if you just meet up the two edges, and you can see this card has been cut in the wrong direction. So it's a little bit rough here, but what we're going to do is just fold it down that way, run the bone scorer down it to hopefully break those fibres, and then I'm actually going to turn it out on itself to try and break those fibres even more so that I get a nice smooth edge, and it's not, so you can see that's a nice smooth edge and it's not all rough. So now you can see that that's meeting up and closing quite nicely. Okay, so then it's just adding your little bits. So we're just going to add these pieces, or these two outer pieces. And again, when you're using your tape, I just tear it. I can't be bothered cutting it, and it gums up my scissors. So with tape, if you're using your scissors to cut all the time, I just find this really easy rather than fiddling around and cutting with scissors. So then just adding the side pieces. Just lining them up so you're leaving a nice little edge there. even edge. Okay. Then what we're going to do is create the little shutters. So with the shutters, so they're 9.5 by 9 centimetres. And then, so what we're going to do is down the 9 centimetre edge, we're going to score a little 1 centimetre score line. So again, the 1 centimetre on this is a little bit imprecise, so I just mark it with the pencil so I can see it clearly where it is. Just going to line that up, and I'm just going to score, oops, put my thumb out of the way, score along that line. So that's just that little edge there. And then the same with the second piece. And then just give it a nice fold backwards and forwards, so because that will become your hinge for your little shutter. Okay, so we want that to fold in and out quite nicely. Now we're just going to prepare the V, so to cut the V in there. So basically we're going to go 4.5, which is halfway across the 9, and we're going to go up about 4 to about 4.5. So we're going to come to here. So just make a little dot, and then that way we know we're going to cut from the corners. I'm going to do these two pieces at the same time. So just using our trusty little Crafter's Companion scissors, I'm just going to start at the corner and cut. Actually, I'm not going to do the two pieces at a time because they're slipping. So we're just going to cut to that dot. Starting at this corner, and cut to that dot. There we go, and then I think I bought a rubber. Yeah, just get rid of that little dot mark there. Then you can use that as a template to cut the other one. I can't be bothered using that. I'm just going to cut to that line. There we go. So our two little shutters are there. Okay. So they're ready to go. Then our last little thing that we need to do is we can stamp our little birthday wishes. So we can just stamp that on there. And then just, oh, I've got my guillotine here. You can just trim that up. And then just pop a little bit of the blue around that. Oh, that's the green one I'm using. Doesn't matter. It'll just have a bit of a greenish tinge. Beautiful. And then we'll just mat that. So that looks like that's going to fit on there. Maybe just a little bit too fat. So we'll just trim that down as well. So I love being able to use up my little scrap bits. So these are perfect for, your little scrap bits are perfect for doing your mats, especially black. I find black is just really handy. If you can't match something, then put it on black or white. Just makes it easier. They're just two things that go with everything. Okay, so then that's ready to go on the card. So then the next bits are to stamp the mandala. So the front of the mandala. So what I'm going to do is I want to see what it will look like rather than the black. I want to see what it'll look like with a green background. But I'm also going to do the black as well because I can, and I'd like to see how it goes. So we're just going to pop one in. It should be interesting to see if it will cut two at a time. No, I don't think it will because it's quite a thin die. So I'm just going to go one and just hold it in place with a little bit of washi tape. So we're using the Gemini MIDI today. Put that in. There's the green one, and then we'll just do a black one as well. Look at that. That's a perfect bit of scrap for this. I'm just going to flip it over to try and even out the pressure, so that the little plate doesn't get too warped. They do get warped after constant use, but if you swap them around, it's not too bad. Okay, so there's our black one. Then what we need to do is stamp our little mandala stamp. And what I'm going to do is layer this up. So rather than I just had the flat piece, I'm going to layer this up. So we want one of the mandala, the full one. And then I just want the centerpiece. So I'm going to try and get the centerpiece onto this one. Okay, that's for that one, isn't it? No, that's right. That's for that. Beautiful. Okay. So with this one, we're going to cut out this part. Just get our tape. There it is. And we're going to put the centerpiece on as well and cut the center out of that. Just line it up nicely. Okay, and then we're going to do, no, that's right, this one's from the other piece. That's okay, we'll just do the two layers. I thought that piece was from this one, but it's from the other stamp, so that's okay. We can just put that And this way here, we'll just have the 2 layers. So this one is to cut out this stamp. And we'll have 2 layers rather than 3 layers. It's all right, better than nothing. That's what experimentation is all about, isn't it? Sometimes we don't quite get it right, but that's okay. So if you wanted to, though, if you really wanted to build up a few layers, you could actually cut out, say, this layer here. Now, we don't have a die for that, but that would just give you the 3rd layer. So you could just go around this layer here, or just that actual flower. Do we have the die for that? No, we don't. So you could actually go around just this flower here, and then that could be your 3rd layer. Okay, but we'll just have the 2 layers today. So just carefully take off the washi tape. Put that on the side. Okay. So now we can just colour them. So what I was going to do is just colour them with the green, and then edge them with the blue. So again, just blend around with the green. And then just grabbing the blue, the Paradise Teal, we can just give it a nice edge, coming on a little bit if you want to. So just again, seeing what you like the look of, you know, what inks you're using at the time. So now we're going to decide whether we want to put this on the black. So the black's going to be there. Just going to crease that down a little bit more so that it's sitting, that's better. So it's sitting nice and flat. So we're going to have either the black and that little piece there. It's, to me, that looks nice. Or the green. So I'm not quite sure. I think I might like the green. The black really stands out. So again, not sure. I'm thinking I'm going to go the green. I think that the green is a bit more subtle. I think the black matches in better. Yeah, so again, it's much of a muchness to me. I think I'm going to go the black. So now what we're going to do is just mount. So I've got my little bits of mounting tape here. So with the orange card, I just put everything flat. I just attached it with the double-sided tape. But with this one, I am going to mount it. Just give it a bit more dimension. just wondering which way to again do this. I think I'll do it that way. Yeah. So that the petal here is mimicking this petal there. And then I'm just going to load this straight on top of the other little one. So you can see there you've got that dimension going on. So it's hard to see on the camera, but when you're actually gifting it, it will then step up. I think I might put it this way this time rather than I had it going up the other way last time. So again, it's just playing around with things, seeing what works right for you. Now, I'm not going to load that on yet because I'm going to be doing a bit of fiddling around with the inside of the card now. So what we're going to do is take the circle out of here. So I'm just going to line that up sort of about there, just sort of probably just a little bit higher than the middle. And I'm just going to take that in place. And pop it through the MIDI. Sorry, I think it just moved a little bit. So then gently pulling your washi tape off, just so it doesn't tear your card. That's well stuck down. There we go. Okay, so now we've got, I'm thinking that I might just stamp on that. If you thought you didn't want that piece, what you can now do is just gently pull off your backing. That tape's well stuck down. There we go. So you could pull that off and you could stamp in the middle there, okay? But I'm thinking that that might be a bit too busy. I'm not sure. I think that's a bit too busy because then it will detract. You won't notice the difference, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn it over and I'm going to stamp my little sentiment after making sure I've got all the tape off. Stamp my little sentiment in the middle there. So the little sentiment I've got here is have a happy day. Now, this is where it gets a bit tricky because you kind of need to have a smallish sentiment. So just being aware of that when you're putting your card together. So just stamping that in the center. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of mandala around the edge. So I'm going to go the blue. Now, remembering that's got black on it, so I just might need to stamp this off a little bit so that it's not, oh, that's not too bad. So stamp a bit of that there and a bit there. Okay. So now what you're going to do with this bit is we're not going to attach it with tape, we're going to attach it with mounting tape. So this is where the Kaszazz mounting tape comes in handy because it comes in these sheets and you can just cut off a strip. So we're just going to cut off a strip. Probably So, and you're just going to put it on the top edge here. So don't take it right to the edge because you don't really want to see it. And then just a little bit down from the edge and a little bit down from the sides. And that other bit flipped over to there. That will just fit nicely in there. Talk about good estimation. So just peeling the backing off and then lining that up in the centre of your card. That's about right. Oops, there's another bit of washi tape. Okay, so now what we can do with our little sentiment is just putting tape on the back. So probably just 3 pieces. We can then just pop that in the middle. Okay, so then that's ready to go, and now we've just got our shutters. So if you're using textured card, you'll want to put your tape on the textured side. Tape here and here. Okay, so just your normal tape. So now what we're doing now is just slipping our little shutter in. So slipping it in so that it's sitting right on the edge of this score mark here. Okay, so just put it down. That looks about right. And then what we're going to do is just hold it there and then just close the front flap on it. And then what that does is it then will attach there. Okay, so then that's attached to your front flap. Now what you're going to do, you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So just putting it in and just making sure that both of these little pointing bits actually go under the first black piece. So you don't want one flap on top and one flap under. You want them both under. I hope that makes sense. Rather than having one on top and one underneath, because that won't work properly. So both under or both on top of the previous shutter. And again, just lining it up. Taking your tape off, just making sure that's nice and straight. That looks good. And then just closing it up and pressing down. So now, when you open up, you're going to get that and be able to see your message inside. Okay, so that's done. Now we've just got to pop our little mandala on. So again, we're only going to put tape on one side. So we're putting it that way. So we want tape down there. So I'm going to put that on that side. So just make sure that's in the middle. I've got one of my lined up in the middle. Yep. And then we'll put this one on the opposite side. probably just 3 little pieces there to hold it in place. And just popping that in the middle. Okay, so then it just opens like that. And then for the last touch, we'll put our little rhinestones on. And of course, I haven't brought my collage medium out, so I'm just going to put the tiniest bit of tape there. So normally I would adhere so that you don't see the tape, but just so that you can see what the rhinestone looks like. I just try and do it with my thumb so it's within that circle. Popping your rhinestone on. Yep, so normally I'd use glossy accent or collage medium, but that actually has worked. Okay. So these size rhinestones from Kaszazz don't have the backing on them, so you need to adhere them with the collage medium or glossy accent, or like I've done today, with some tape. The string of rhinestones, little rhinestones, of course, come on a string of glue. So all you need to do is just peel back the string. So you'll see they'll sit up like that. Bend your plastic sheet back, and then you can just cut off one at a time, or however many you want. So just one at a time, and then that way they'll stick to your scissors, and then you can just place them where you want them. So sorry, this is a bit tedious, guys, but I'm just going to put... So what I might do is just put them around the edge, because you get the drift of what I'm doing here. But you can basically put the little rhinestones wherever you want them. So I'm going to put them here, and then I'll work out where else I want them. So do I want them anywhere else? I'm thinking maybe just there, just on the tip of that petal. And I think that's probably enough. So that's that little card, the little shutter card. And like the card says, have a happy day. If you need anything from Kaszazz, if you'd like to contact me, just let me know. Lots of great promotions on at the moment. So please get in touch if you'd like anything. You can shop through my web store, or if you want to make it easy, just contact me. I'm very happy to help you. And like I said before, I would love to see your creations and what you do with it. You might have nothing to do with mandalas. That's perfectly okay. I would still love to see your shutter cards. So please get on and make a shutter card and show me what you come up with. So get creative, stay safe out there. I know we're doing really well with our immunisation rates. We're doing so well that I no longer have a job in the immunisation clinic because the numbers are so low now to get immunised. So take care, have a wonderful day, happy Kazazzing. Bye.